This is shot at the end of the episode of the Front Row conversation with my dear friend Tariq Sheriff. Make some noise for him. Intellectual, do what you're gonna do. Do it.
Like that
Just do it. Just show them what you're gonna do.
Right, I wonder if he asked me like, and then if it's like a tough question,
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Front Row conversation with me, Rohann, Mathew. This is episode number 5, and we have someone really special, really close to my heart that I've known now for 13 years and counting. We've been the closest of friends, especially over the past, I think, 5-6 years. Growing up, we used to play football together a lot and just pioneering friendships, groups, communities. We had some great memories just in our late teens and tweens and whatnot. And then eventually now we're just like growing up together and we're probably the closest of friends. He's also the director of Area 83, a very popular fan favorite resort, adventure resort, I must say, in Bangalore. Footballer, gym body, but everyone's favorite. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Tariq Sheriff.
You're gonna play those claps in the background.
Yeah, clap for yourself. How's it going, man?
All good, man. How are you?
Good. How's your day?
Long day, but not bad for a Monday.
Not bad for a Monday.
Yeah.
What does your day really look like usually?
Wake up at 5.
Oh, here comes the ideal man's answer.
Wake up at 5, pray, go to gym, come back and nap.
Come back and nap.
For maybe half an hour, 1 hour, then breakfast.
What time is that? Oh, like so you're saying before breakfast?
Before breakfast.
Okay.
Yeah, get out of home by 10 o'clock. Then either come here, go to the resort, depending on which day it is.
Awesome.
And day ends by maybe 6, 7, sometime late.
Hectic.
And just go back home and watch some TV.
Watch some TV. What do you watch on TV now?
Depends. Netflix tells me what to watch these days.
Tells you what to watch. What kind of content? Is it movies, shows, documentaries?
I'm not a show guy.
Not a show
for me,
guy.
just straight movies because I can start it and end it and I'm done. I don't have to wait for the new episodes. And it's just one long.
Have you ever watched any web series though?
Yeah, I watched some sad ones actually.
Which ones?
I watched Karate Kid.
Like the web series?
Yeah, Cobra Kai. It's called Cobra Kai. Yeah,
Okay.
from the old movies.
Nice.
Then I just finished Suits 5 times.
Why?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Yeah, just plays in the background while you're doing things.
Oh, you like it that much?
Yeah, it's a smart show. And
You like smart
Yeah, I like
shows.
that, yeah. Then watch Friends.
Friends is the OG.
And
Did you grow up watching Friends? Like in school?
Yeah,
and
like those shady kids in the background, and my mom used to watch it. All these A-rated
it was
jokes.
A-rated. Okay, the jokes. Okay,
Yeah,
fine.
I can't laugh next to my mom from
It's
the
not
side.
A-rated, it's R-rated, I guess. But yeah. Okay, whatever.
Yeah, but yeah, you
Technicalities.
got basically R-rated or A-rated for Indian parents. So I ended up watching a bit of that, I think, throughout my life. And yeah, I used to watch shows back in the day like Pokemon, Dragon Ball Z.
Of course.
And but
Bro, the
post,
cartoons we had when we were in those years were just
I think
RP.
once we grew up, I don't think there's anything.
I mean, also, I don't know if
Yeah.
we know, but even if, yeah.
Yeah, we didn't have the time, I feel, to sit and
Yeah.
watch a show.
True.
So yeah, there are a few shows that I want to watch, but maybe I don't like.
What's the best series or show or movie you watched in the past 6 months in 2024? What's your favorite at least?
My favorite movie is Rocky, straight up.
No, not like from the past 6 months of this year.
Past 6 months, which actually there's some not great movie. I've watched a few the documentary movies that have been coming out.
Which one stands out for you?
I really am very bad with names. I just watched them and it's done.
Done. Huh?
But I don't think I watched a show called I think Sprint, which was on Netflix about these 100-meter sprinters who are going to be running in the Olympics this year.
Yeah.
And that was really a good one.
Nice, bro.
Yeah.
Super. So you were very unmoved by your introduction, but how would you introduce yourself? What would you tell the audience that you do? What does Tariq Sheriff do?
Oh, I don't do anything.
What do you mean?
Straight up. Yeah, I don't know what kind of an introduction. That's the most awkward part, I feel.
Yeah.
When you tell someone what do you do? You can just say, what you actually do at work. But if you say introduce yourself,
Yeah.
Like, how can
It's
you?
complicated, no?
Yeah, like you
Okay,
can't.
what do you do for work? Like, tell our audience what do you do for work.
I'd say for work, I think main business for me is Area 83.
Okay.
Then you have Aura, which is the wedding venue.
Mm.
You have this company called Prospect 360, which is an export-import company in Dubai. You have a construction company called Earth, which we've been doing a few projects in and around Bangalore. I have this company called Above Earth, which is an athleisure company, which is yet to launch, I think, the next few weeks.
Mm.
Then,
So you have 5 companies.
yeah.
6 companies.
Yeah, then
Are they
there's...
all in your name? Or you're just like
Oh, no, they
part
are.
of the teams?
No, they're all in... basically, it's either me and my brother, me, my dad and brother. And then I have the union, which all of y'all know about. That's my NGO.
Mm.
And yeah, I think at the moment, it's at 5 or 6, somewhere there.
Why do you have 5 or 6 companies?
Because we're working anyway. If there's more work, the better. Like, if one helps the other, it's easier for me
like
to
all your companies kind of like co-help each other?
It depends. Like, see how you have Area 83, you have Aura right there. Then from Aura and Area 83, I end up using the... Like, they fund me quite a bit to do my NGO work. I started working when I was 21, I think right after college. That's when Area 83 started. For, I think, 5 years, there was nothing other than Area 83. It was just one company. I think in the past 2 years is where I've invested in a few companies. Like, there's one more company. It was supposed to be called Halo, but we're changing the name. That's a perfume company in Bombay.
Okay.
And so there are smaller entities here and there. But I felt like if there is some business that I am doing, why not, like, pick up few other things? Why do take it like in one field?
Yeah.
So yeah, I make my team work the same way. The whole company works the same way.
So is it like one
mother company?
No.
So the mother company is only for Area 83 and Aura.
Okay. Just those two.
Yeah,
Like,
those are the ones
intersect.
where you have Sharik and my dad and the 3 of us that work. And then depends on the other companies. Some I told you I have my brother working with me. Some I have my best friend called Rohann and Razi working at the union. And yeah, others I've just invested in, or just, I had my personal interest in a few things. So I've invested in those companies and become a director, founder, one of those bigger roles. Because I feel like just investing in a company and sitting in the sideline or something that I would do.
You can't do that.
I can't.
It's difficult, no?
No, I feel it's not fun.
Yeah.
Like, you really...
It's not you.
Yeah, like if I feel like if I have the time, I'd rather put the money where I get some work rather than just giving it and just wondering like how people put money in stocks.
Yeah.
Like they leave it and they're like, someone else do my work. I can't.
You don't do that?
No, I don't. Not at all.
You don't have any stocks?
No.
Really?
No.
Actually?
No. I only put my money in Bitcoin and yeah, it worked out. But then again, like I can't, like I'll put the bet on myself rather than betting on someone else to like do business.
So you prefer like having control?
100%. Yeah, I think that's the thing that's come from my dad.
Oh yeah?
Because I feel like if someone has to screw up, it would be me.
And you will take responsibility.
Yeah, take responsibility for it. But somewhere else, I have to depend on someone else. And I feel like if I'm capable of taking that responsibility, why would I put it on someone else?
And do you think like Indian men, like I'm sure like there's like this like stereotype where Indian men love control, or just like men in general love control and like are very controlling. You think that's a good thing, problem, bad thing? What's your take on it?
That's actually a very...
I just want your opinion.
Yeah, no,
like,
I'm just saying,
no,
it
right
depends. Like, it's not about having control. It's more of how you manage it. Like how you manage a team. How do you manage people? Like whether it's a relationship, whether it's a company, like you can't have control over everything. You need to trust the people around you. Like even for work, if you see my team, I'll give them a problem and I'll tell them, you'll give me a solution. I don't want anything else. And I run by it. That does like, but for someone who likes to control everything, I would even tweak those solutions.
You give them the answer and be like, do this.
Yeah, I'd never be able to run 5 or 6 companies if I was a control freak. But it's more like the people you work with, you need to learn how to trust them. And that kind of control is what I feel like you need to have a good balance. You need to know where to let go of control and a few places where you really need to like make that decision.
Charge, yeah.
But I think over the past 7-8 years that I've been doing business, like I think I've learned it the hard way, but I know where to just let go of things and where to like really put your foot down. So I think that's something that comes with experience and really being thrown in the deep.
Yeah.
Like if you honestly ask me, like even from all the kind of education that I've done, the kind of business that I've done, it's not what someone does. I didn't go study in like
Yeah.
4 walls and get like a degree. It's
Mm.
some like I just got out my degree. Post that, all my education has just been out in the wild, somewhere in the jungle, like
Literally.
Yeah, literally in the jungle.
Yeah. I
So
want to get into that story eventually, but yeah.
yeah.
So you were you obviously were born and raised in Bangalore, and like tell me about those first 10 years. I think that's what really forms so much of a child's like thoughts, behavior patterns, characteristics. Like what was those first 10 years? Because I wasn't able to see you in those first 10 years.
Yeah.
So give us an insight. Give me an insight, honestly, because I have no idea. But like, how would you describe your first 10 years of your life?
I feel like the first not 10, I think 12 to 14. I think we weren't staying in Indranagar. We were staying in this apartment, and we had a bunch of friends that we made, like with like obviously our neighbors, people down the road, and we were always kids who never liked to stay at home. Like we would never do it. So we always had like come back from school. Sometimes back in the day we had Pokemon and all that, but there was a time where we would come back, throw our bags, change, and go play football. Or go play some sport, because there were 3 apartments like in that road. So we would just go there, end up playing some sport. But every evening at 5 is what till 5 till about 7:30 where we used to play, and then come back. And my parents weren't the type who ever told us to study. They were like, just pass. They're like,
Did they actually say just pass?
Okay, didn't say just pass. They're like, just pass is it's not the greatest thing to see.
Yeah.
At least get 60.
Yeah.
Like at least you can show your face to someone, because they knew we're into extracurriculars than the education. But they're like, you'll get enough education in 60, but don't fail in anything. So we never had that pressure to ever get, like when I met y'all had those 80, 90. I was like, I've never got, even if we put all my marks together, sometimes I don't get that much.
Yeah.
So y'all were a different league where education was primary. For us, it was education was not the thing that we are going to school for. Yes, it was
So
nice.
interesting, yeah.
It's a nice way to like tell us not, like they didn't tell us don't pay attention to what you're doing, but like, pay enough attention that you're learning something. At the same time, you're doing these other activities that keep you active. So yeah, it was a very different childhood. Like, how you see in TV, like if you have to find your friend, there's no landline. So you have to really go to each house and check where the shoes are, check where the cycles are. So we would know where the group is. Otherwise, we would never be able to tell like who's gone where. So ever wanted to spot one of us, it would be in someone's house. Yeah, and you'll know whose slipper that is, and you're like, oh, this friend is here, that friend is there. Like these days, like you just call and you're like, are you coming? But there it was like you arrive and then you're there, and then you decide, okay, what you're going to do. So I feel like that was the best part of my childhood. Like I feel like moving from that apartment to an independent house, we hated it. Even now I still hate it. Like I feel like I don't have one friend. Not even one. Like I've stayed here I think for 15 years. I stayed there for 14 years. And I haven't made even one friend. I have one friend, that's Jeetan, but he's from my school, and that's the only person. But in my neighborhood, there's not one. And here we had so many. So it was
So it was difficult to transition, I think. No?
Yeah, and those friends were different and the time was different. But over here, like when you live in an individual house, people have that mentality that, I don't know, like you won't get out. If you're in an apartment, you'll meet people in the lift. You'll see them outside. You'll bump into people. So you eventually become friends. Over here, there's nobody to bump into.
But I think even like generally in like Indian culture now, Bangalore culture now is changing so much that even people in apartments and these gated communities like barely like interact with each other, or like I think it's come down. A lot has changed in the past 20 years also.
Yeah, but that's only because people are on their phones. If you think about it, like
so it wasn't there.
Like we didn't have that. For us, communication was really going and communicating. We had to leave our house. We didn't have a choice of just sitting and think. Yeah, I think we got phones, landlines, and when we were in 5th grade. But till then, the only form of communication, instead of us getting belted at home to study, we would leave. We would leave the house. We would go out there. So apartments, all of them have the same problem, because people in an apartment are inside the apartment. Nobody leaves the apartment. So how do you expect to make friends from inside an apartment? So it's the same concept of being inside the house. you're not really going to leave. So yeah, there I would blame social media straight. But yeah, I feel like I'm just glad that we didn't have phones. Even now I feel like we, as much as possible, we should
Keep
not keep it aside. But it's I don't think in this day and age it's possible.
Yeah, I think because I think two things I want to address is one, I think that this explains a lot to how and why you're such a, you're always the first man to try and bring people together. Like for me, it's like this genuinely. Not I'm saying this because we're recording, but this is I think I've understood you a little bit more as to why you always love bringing people together. It makes so much sense now. It's because that feeling of the apartment is just not there.
Yeah, it's not there 100%.
So you're like, dude, like I need to like recreate that environment as much as I can, whenever I can. So I think that for me just an eye-opening thing.
Yeah,
right now.
I think it's more like for me. I think being around my mom, my dad, is always we've always had people over. Like I think when you've come home, it's actually so funny. There've been times where even I'm not at home and my friends are at home. Like I remember Nehal during school would just call me and be like, "What's there at home for breakfast?" I'd be like, "Okay, this is made." Half the time I'm not even there. He'll go and have breakfast with my family. So it was like I think at home, just calling people over was so normal that I think we found our group. I think when we were in 11th.
Yeah, I'm going to come to that season, but yeah.
I just feel like for me, I always had that thing that more the merrier. I've never had people have, okay, I'll call 3 people, I'll call 5 people. I was like, no, like
very selective.
I've grown up with these people and I love to have everyone around. Like, someone not coming, I'll force them to come. And I don't know. I just feel like when there's a room full of people that there's nothing better than that. Yeah, you do have those close, intimate conversations, but I'd say you do that one-on-one, but you can't do that in a group anyway. So if you're calling one person out, I would say I'm not in that headspace. I would never want to hurt the people I haven't called. So I'd rather call everyone and let them make the choice whether they want to come or not.
Come or not, yeah.
So yeah.
Okay, coming to the next season of life is when you finished FAPS and you finished graduating from 10th, and that's when we all met in that summer between 10th and the next season of life. Talk me through that. Like, how is it? Like for me, it was one of the most life-changing seasons of my life because I met so many people, and like I met you in that season, and like it's been such an eye-opener for me to meet people from outside my school, which is something that I never had. Like I was in an all-boys school, never met girls. Not never met girls, but like we didn't have girls in our school, and suddenly we're just meeting everyone from different schools, different like ideologies, different perspectives of life. And how is that for you? Or did you always have it? I don't know.
I would say no. The funniest thing is extracurriculars where people other than sports, traveled, like been to quite a few schools to compete.
Yeah, like inter-school.
But when it came to like
friendships.
No, not friendships. I'd say like going out of my way, like taking part in like festing. Festing was a place where people would actually meet people from different schools. I feel FAPS, even though it has the notorious name that it has, I felt like we had everything in our school. We really didn't have to leave school to really find these people. Or like, obviously, like if you're an all boys or all girls, like you'd be like, oh, how would it be if you have girls? Or how would it be if you have guys in the school? But for us, it was we had everything. We didn't really need to leave our premises for anything. So till 10th, if you ask me, like I was a homebody or like a school body. I didn't leave the school for anything other than sports. And like the other friends that we have in our group, you would see they already knew a few of y'all because they went for these extracurriculars and they did meet y'all. But I just felt like that's a phase. That's a very different phase of my life. I had a lot of friends, 100%. We still did the same things, but it was only with the people of FAPS. It wasn't with anyone other than that. But I think post that is when...
Post that, like what changed? Like how did it change for you?
I felt like getting to know people in an NGO. Yeah. Like, that's where we met. Funnily,
tell me about it. Tell us about it. Yeah, I think everybody knows like how we are all friends. Like what's the reason we're all friends?
So I think post 10th grade. I think this was 10th summer.
Yeah.
And all of us are getting into different colleges. And there was one fest that it will happen, which was called Cascade, which I had no idea because I didn't fetch. But the only cool part about that was to get good pictures. Like like the picture that used to come out. Yeah?
You remember the guy's name, the photographer?
Start for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, that A guy. So, do you know his name?
I know his name.
What is it?
Arvind Shenoy.
Arvind Shenoy. Huh. So,
Yeah.
his pictures were great and we all wanted that. But also what we used to see, like every picture came out has so much emotion. Like everyone laughing and like doing things for the community.
Yeah.
Didn't do too much, but whatever came out. And I felt like when we met, we all got bullied. We all, like, none of us knew each other. I think from FAPS, there were like 5 or 6 people. So I think we met because we started playing football together.
Yeah.
And then we started playing Accelerate.
Yeah.
And post that, when we started playing, we, like, obviously we got close.
Yeah.
And then we started, like, you know, the group that we have now, the humongous family, I would say. But that group started, like, to an extent, started getting formed at that time. And doing social work together, meeting every Sunday, going for lunches, going for breakfast, post that. I think that was like one of, I think, the most purest forms of friendship that you would see.
Yeah.
Because we didn't meet to go to a bar. We didn't meet to do anything. We went to do social work. We used to, like, we went to that place called Snehadan, the cancer center. We did that fest called Rainbow, which was for the underprivileged.
Yeah.
And
was it for the underprivileged or especially able?
Especially able, both.
Yeah.
So we hit those notes in early part of our friendship, which was something I think all of us really liked, because it could tell, like, we could tell that these are not, like, these are friends that you want. And I felt obviously NBS had almost a good 100, 200 people. Out of that, I think 50, 60 of us stuck.
Yeah.
And
that's a big number, dude. That's a
number.
huge
And
number to stick.
It's funny that it's still stuck.
It's still that. 10, 12 years later.
10, 12 years down the line. And you just wonder, like, obviously it wasn't easy to keep everyone together. But I feel like 2 years of doing NBS, like, that was a good enough, like, that was 11th and 12th was the biggest the part of our life where we all had so much fun. Like, again, new friends, new experiences. That was like the concert phase of our life. All these big concerts started coming down, and I feel like that because of that we are where we are as a group.
So true. Like, I have so many people come and ask me and ask us, like, how do you have such a big friend group? Like, you know everyone in Bangalore. Like, I don't know how to answer that question, but in the way that you just did, right? Like, it's hard to, like, give them a straight answer.
Yeah. It's something that I don't think we ever expected. And we never, if you think about it, you knew these people before me. I had no idea who these people are. But the thing is that initially, when we had to really plan or dinner or lunch or anything, like, it would be, I would say, let's do it, or you would say, let's do it. But then we would plan it together. It was more like that space where, like, you know, we just call everyone. Some people are comfortable with you, so they would come. Some people knew me, so they would come. So, but when everyone meets, that's how I think the group just started getting bigger and bigger and bigger, because we never stopped. It was the same for you. It was like, you won't call one, you'll call everyone.
Yeah.
And that friend is allowed to call another friend.
Yeah.
So we never had that +1, +2, even +10. It's good as long as, you know, you vet them that these are good people we're going to meet. So I feel like, I cannot answer that question.
I think we're a very unique batch, man. Like, I don't know any other batch that has this big friend group. I also don't know of all the batches, but I'm just saying the batches above and below us. Like, the diversity and the size, I don't know if anyone has such an interesting.
And we have people doing everything in our batch. We have nuclear scientists, we have data scientists, we have only, like, I don't know what half of our friends do. Sorry,
scientists and data scientists.
We have, like, okay, someone doing photography, someone like a singer, and someone becomes a nutritionist. Like, you have everything under the sun. I think.
Yeah, we've really diversified.
Like, so it's not like we're all from that corporate structure sitting then. Like, we have a few people there, but even then, you see, these are not people who are just in the lower level, like, I would say, positions. Like, because the kind of people we are and what we've been exposed to because of everyone's background, I think it really helped us, like, surpass most of the people in their careers. Because we have people like Trishal, like, man, his dad, Nickelodeon, Pingu, everything was his dad. Like, did I ever know that my friend's dad makes Pingu? He made half of Nickelodeon's, like, animation. Like, and you wonder, like, You have people like that. You have people like Tusha, who's gone to the US. He made a small financing company. Even that's huge.
Yeah.
Like we have people who have made it big.
Yeah.
You have people who are making it big, and everyone's in their own journey. But every December that when we meet, every
Yeah.
big occasion that we meet,
Yeah.
when we all catch up, we're all just like shocked and wondering like how is everyone really growing that fast.
And yet keeping in touch.
Yeah,
and
keeping
yet
in touch. Yeah, that's not easy. Like you see
definitely
over
not
the
easy.
years, like
Yeah.
it's harder to call everyone out. It's like before we just put a message out and you'd get like 20, 30 people like for dinner. And now we like you do get that, but you just have to plan a little more in advance.
And
Yeah,
check schedules and preferences.
yeah,
and
yeah.
whatnot.
So I would say, but we still get a good attendance of 25, 30 people, which
Yeah.
I think is unheard of.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
And yeah, I feel like, yeah, it's just a unique group.
Nice, yeah. You did mention that we obviously got close, but like I think one of the reasons we got close was I'd definitely give credit to football and like flying ducks.
Yeah.
You know, like talk to us about that journey because I spoke to Mekla about it when he was here. I definitely want to like rehash those memories and talk about that. Like, what is your experience of flying ducks and how did it form? What did we achieve? What was your experience?
I think flying ducks was 5 boys. Like, I don't know, like basically chaos. Like you had one guy who was a goalkeeper who never wanted to play as a goalkeeper. He wanted to be a forward. We had a guy called Sairam who I think was the Lionel Messi of India.
True.
But half the time he didn't show up for half the matches. He showed up in the second half. And then we had Mekla. He had his days.
He had his days back in the day.
Yeah, back in the day. Even now I feel the same. That part of him never leaves. Then
So
we had
funny.
me and you just standing at the back and figuring out what our team needs.
Yeah.
And from going to tournaments with 5 people, but 3 of them showing up
Yeah.
in the start, playing with 3 players, making the friends who came to cheer for us play. I feel we've experienced it all.
That's crazy.
From going to accelerate,
Yeah.
like driving and riding almost a good 1 hour, 1.5 hour back then.
But that's wild, right? Like
Yeah.
it's crazy how much we did for football.
Yeah.
And just to play with the
To get a
same
good
people.
ground.
To get a good ground. Like it's
Yeah.
crazy how much of opportunity we have right now. But like back in like 10, 12 years back, and
We had
it was the only
nothing.
option.
We didn't have any ground. We think about it, we had nothing. Bangalore
Yeah.
Football Stadium and accelerate.
Yeah.
And I
But we
feel
did every Friday night, bro, for almost 2 years, I think, right?
Yeah, I think those are the experiences, because if you see LGPC was like jail. Legit. If you take a picture of me like that, you know that LGPC because I had the uniform.
HFUC,
Yeah, anyway, I had the uniform.
Yeah.
So that was the only escape that we had. NBS was the only escape that we had. So Bishop Cotton, you were studying all the time. So and you saw it was like an all boys. So for y'all need an escape. Okay, so I feel like that Friday, Saturday, Sunday
man.
was something that all of us really wanted. We're looking forward to like letting that weekend come, because as soon as Accelerate starts on Friday, you know the weekend is starting, and it ends with NBS, which is on Sunday.
That's so true. Like it's so funny. Like I loved those days when we used to go play football, but we'd have a battalion of people follow us.
Yeah, for cheering for
To
us.
cheer for us, which is ridiculous. And those are the friends we made literally 6 months back or 3 months back at NBS. And sometimes they would like.
Sometimes they would play because we didn't have players. Like there have been times where like, oh yeah, we don't have.
Thanks, Curry.
Yeah, thanks, Curry, Sandeep, like
Ali Bhai.
Ali Bhai. Yeah, we have players who came for the food sometimes, but they had to play because we
Yeah.
didn't have players. And
It's too funny.
I feel that experience and playing the memorial tournament, the Raznal tournament that we
Raznals,
play, like these have been like big tournaments that we still play.
Yeah.
Accelerate is something that we don't, but
Yeah, it's not that anymore.
yeah,
I think.
and we still end up playing. We didn't win too much initially, but then there were few tournaments. But when we won, we felt like we won the World Cup.
Yeah. But how good did you think we were actually? Do you think we were actually really good? Because I think we were an amazing team, but I think I'm just romanticizing that.
There's no way. Like we had like one of the best players I feel in the city and in the country. Like there was no chance. Like when we played so many tournaments, I think towards the end, like when we stopped, coming to I think 22, 23, like towards the latter half, where we started getting into work rather than play. There were times where people would boo us because they knew we would win. So imagine getting to a position where instead of being cheered for because you're going to win, you're getting booed for because you're going to beat them. So I feel like as players, like man, few of us have represented the country, few of us have played for the state. So that doesn't mean, and all of them come together, we are actually an invincible team. We won so many tournaments, and it either be semi-finals or finals.
Yeah, we
And
always reach the top
and
4
we were
at
kids.
least.
Think about it. We were kids. We
That's
had
wild.
players who were 30, 20, like, they were there. But we are like 15, 16, 17-year-olds going and playing the tournament and playing well. Like, we didn't really lose. There was always that fear. Always you had Alfateh, those boys and us.
There's Joga and...
Yeah, but those are the old guys.
Yeah.
Those are all the coaches who... Funnily, Joga's whole team were the coaches who taught us how to play. We went for their summer camp.
Yeah.
So we are playing the coaches, but we are schooling the coaches. So that clearly tells that we were, like, at least with the equipment and facilities that we had. If we had that now, I think I feel like we would be somewhere else. But I think with what we had, we were great.
Crazy. Flying Ducks was a great season. I think that's what definitely was a foundation for like my friendship with you, at least. I think for sure. I think because we used to meet every week. We used to literally, my parents don't know this, but ride together from Indranagar to Accelerate.
Oh, they did?
No, they
didn't allow you to sit on a bike.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Hope they don't watch this, but if they do. They've made it through 40 minutes of this episode with you.
Yeah,
but
as long as Sandeep wasn't the one riding, I think.
Yeah.
You're good.
Crazy, man. Yeah, so post that, we all did degrees and whatnot, and I think that was also a great season for you, right? Like, I think so much changed for you in those years.
I feel like degree was another... Yeah, it was a change after LGPC. Anything after LGPC was like heaven. But degree got a little more serious, I would say. Like, because now...
Oh, you were studious?
No, not that way. Like, I'm saying generally, because now you're in a headspace saying, what am I going to do in life?
Yeah.
And for me, I just got in. I didn't get in. I had to bribe the college to get in because I didn't get admission.
You bribed the college?
Yeah.
This is on record.
It's called paying for your seat. And so that happened. And after, then I got called out. Like the first day of college, when I answered something, she's like, anyway, you paid for your seat. And
baby.
I was like, I paid you. Because I was the principal who called me out. But I feel like LGPC was a great change. 4 hours.
A little higher?
4 hours.
From here. Yeah.
That 4 hours of college. So post 12:30, you don't know what to do with your life. And we had college, we had practice because we were easily, I think, the strongest team in the city that came to our college
competitions.
Team. And so we had practice, and I would say I would go to gym, and I feel college was simpler compared to what I did after. But college, like, you didn't really have to study, and you still get that 60 because through sports you end up getting 20 marks. You have to get another 40 out of 80, and out of that I show you to get the 20 for me. So then I had another.
She sat here a few weeks ago and said the exact same thing.
Yeah, so she basically deserves 2 degrees because I just attended and I just wrote my roll number and she would do everything for me.
Crazy.
So it was like college is very easy for us. 50 marks was internals and 50 marks was the exam. Out of that, 40, 45 would be done by other people. Over here, I just had to get like 15. Basically, you're telling me to get 40 in my exam and I'd still get the 20s. So then straight up distinction holder. So, easy. But
you cracked the case. You cracked the puzzle.
Yeah, but then I think they know that like someone cracked the code and that's why they brought it down to 20 and 18.
Okay.
But that's post once we left. So college wasn't, I would say, challenging. We know the Indian education system isn't.
But it's still one of the best in the world.
No, it is. No, I'm not saying Indian education system was bad. I think it's great. I love it. Like when doing ICSE, I would still say when people say IB, I like no way, because the pressure that you have to study 11 exams and that too the books are that fat, like that really sets you up for life, because you know whether you like it or not, you have to do it. That's like how society is. Whether you like it or not, you do it. Now the problem that you're facing is people, if I don't like it, I won't do it. I'll drop the subject. There was no such thing I'll drop. My mom would give me a drop kick if I didn't get something. Like Hindi, my mom, I liked watching wrestling because I felt
WWE.
Because I could get the moves from them and I could use them, and the flying hanger, the slipper comes.
Yeah.
But these days it's like, I don't like to do it. You'll go to the Spastic Society, you'll get a certificate and you're good.
Oh yeah. Your friends who did that.
Yeah, but few of them are. But think
Yeah.
about it, like we can't do anything. We
Yeah.
had to go into the grinder, and whether you like the subject or not, we had to study.
Yeah.
That's why now if something comes up where
In life.
in life
work.
which we don't want to do,
Mm.
we still have to do it. Like, and chemistry, basic chemistry, physics, bio, these things. That's the reason we can at least like contribute to a conversation.
Yeah.
Otherwise these days people have just dropped science,
Yeah.
and people drop so many things. So when you drop subjects, you're dropping a very big part of education which you're not going to pick up in life, and you
Yeah.
wouldn't understand. That's why it's so much more harder to talk to someone these days, because they feel like they know it all, but they know it all only in one subject,
Yeah.
because they didn't learn the rest. So I felt like Joseph's great. Like I still use a few 100% subjects in the way I do business, but it just depends. Like education is just a roadmap. You really need to know when to use, what to use. But yeah, I would say like Joseph's was
How
like
much?
a great decision.
How much of a percentage would you credit your ability to do business now to your education system? How much percentage?
Education to, I would say environment more than the education, and I would give it at least a good 90-95%.
What?
The places that you study, like
Oh, you're saying the environment has
like,
taught you
like the
99?
whole the
Oh,
whole
okay, fine.
4 hours, the 8 hours that I'm there, you're not only getting educated in those
By
subjects.
books,
Like
okay.
yeah, if you see when you have FAPS, you have LGPC, you have Joseph's, all these colleges and school they have people from the lowest of the lowest class from the highest to the highest class. So
The diversity.
yeah, the diversity is so vast that you have to adjust. And there's so many projects you have to talk to each other. There's so many places where you have to interact with each other. You learn there, I would say, the way they have been brought up, which is heaven and earth of a difference how you've been brought up. So I feel when you go to school and college, it's important to understand that you need the whole spectrum to grow.
Yeah.
It's not just what they're teaching you. These days they say, what's my kid learning? But your kid, like I think 60% is the friends and the group that they get into.
So true.
And 40% is the education.
true.
But now everyone thinks 90% education. Education is not going to get you anywhere. Like I would say, like if you just say education,
Yeah, it's only the book.
I would say
book
20%,
knowledge,
20-80. But if you say the whole
culture
and everything, I would say 90-95%. But
So
because that's how you learn, okay, how to trick a teacher, like okay, how to cheat on an exam. Man, like I'm telling you, like board exams also, like I copied everything. Like I'm proud about it. But because it's a skill, how to copy and not get caught. Like that was like thrilling. Like I would never write anything on my hands.
Yeah.
But now I was like, who do I bribe? Like who do I bribe? Or like who's the soft target who'd show me? Because everyone was scared. But how do you copy? How much do you study and how much do you copy? The ratio.
Yeah.
What do you copy? See, all this is important. You can't copy an essay. I'll rather copy a 1 word and a 2 word, because that's why I'm done with 30%. So imagine the planning behind that.
Yeah.
I'm not going unprepared. I'm going prepared to copy. Like, I'm not just going to sit there in that classroom and be like, oh no, now, like, I don't know this question.
Yeah.
I don't know this whole section itself.
Yeah.
And if I know it, I'll like the guy in front of me will know it better.
Yeah.
So I would go prepared. And these are things that are going to happen in schools like these. But if you're in a digital world with all these international schools, oh yeah, pish posh, enter space, like, you can't do any of this. Like I remember there's one dude, I had to give him 10 rupees, which I had to get for samosa.
Bro, you actually paid people money?
Yeah, so there's one dude.
No.
So I had to get...
Bro, I thought you were like kidding. I thought you were like giving them rides home or like
No.
buying them food or something.
No, so that was my food. So 10 rupees was for the break time food that we had to get.
Yeah.
So I had to tell him, he was like, I
Wait,
think,
all this is in FAPS and HSCC?
in everywhere.
All three?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah. I couldn't
fantastic.
bribe anyone on LGCC. We're too old.
Yeah.
But-
Hoping you grew out of it.
No. I'll still do it. Like if someone else could do my work, I'm still going to make them do it.
Yeah.
Like there's one dude that would just like slip the 10 rupee note from here,
Bro.
and he would slip the answer sheet with the 1 markers and 2 markers with my name and my roll number.
Oh,
So I just
everything was ready.
So I just had to tie it and submit it. That's all it took. And he was like the 7th ranker and I would be like one of the last.
Yeah.
So I knew no matter what he writes, even if my question will write, it's going to be wrong. So I would just take it, attach it, and I had to pay him 10 rupees for what? 5 rupees was for the answers. 5 rupees was for my handwriting. He had to learn it.
Bro, shut up.
Yeah.
Bro, enough.
I'm telling you, there's a guy called Harish. He is in the medical department in this hospital. You can ask him. And his handwriting was hideous. Like it was so bad.
Just like yours.
So I told him, I was like, you practice and you'll get $10 every exam. So for him, 10 exams. So whatever the subject was, he used to write it.
Bro, your cock and bull stories are too funny.
Yeah,
bro.
the only time I think I didn't copy was Hindi because he was Kannada.
Oh.
I couldn't attach that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I
Did
feel
you
like
ever get caught?
No.
Never got caught.
No, when you get caught, like, oh my god. Like,
You got caught then?
no, like
When you're in the midst.
in the moment, like that red is going from green to like orange. When red is coming, like your headache is bad. Then like suddenly start coughing, and then you behave like something went in your eye.
Yeah.
Like
All
the
those
usual ones.
Tips and tricks.
Yeah, and best till the headache. Your head is down, but your eye is somewhere else.
Yeah.
That's when the person over there given the code.
That's how you got your
side eye.
side eye.
Yeah, but people think side eye. This guy is not looking them. Actually looking at everything. But I feel like
Hilarious,
doing all these things.
Yeah.
I think it got me where I'm. I tell everyone that. I was like, man, half the time I
Oh my
don't
God.
do the work that I do. I make someone do it for me because I feel like I know how to make
You're more
people do it
productive that
better.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think at the end of the day, I have to get the work done. How I get it done is
So
not
to
the
be a
problem.
successful businessman, you need to get people to do work for you.
Aishwarya Mohan. What? Yeah.
Good point. That's why you employed her.
Yeah, but I would say her family told me this when I, dad took me to a side. He's like, so from the past 5 years, you were training her to employ her. I said that wasn't the vision. I didn't look at it like that. But since it worked out for me, it worked out
Might
for
as
me.
well.
But I think those are the experiences. I think that is the 30-40% that you will not get in this education system that is really coming. In Indian education system, you can't learn 7 subjects,
Yeah.
11 subjects.
Yeah.
Unless you have people from Cotton who want to go and do extra exams. And I would say like those are the things that I think build your character. And that's required in a business because you need to think on your feet. You get
That's
thrown
so true.
curveball after curveball. You're not working in IT sector.
You are a legend at thinking on your feet, I must say.
Yeah.
Like
Thanks.
I have come to you for problem-solving situations,
Yeah.
even though you have no idea what to do.
Yeah, I just feel like it's a problem. I love
You love.
I'm like my dad.
problem-solving.
Like I love
Yeah?
problems. Oh my god, I live like when someone has a problem, please come and tell me. I want to like
Solve
figure it out. And
Yeah.
usually I don't tell them in my at work. I won't tell them. I will
Yeah.
figure it out. But I want to see how someone else solves the
Thinks,
same
yeah.
problem.
Yeah.
Because that's when you wonder, okay, how does this person really think?
Mm.
Their background and their social setting.
Yeah.
How did it affect their problem solving skills?
Mm.
So I feel
Like I loved how you back in I think 2014 or 15 you came home to help me build my architecture models. Like you didn't even do your own homework and your own work, but you wanted to come to my house.
cut this out, don't let Aishu hear this because this was the same time she was doing my projects because this was you were in degree and I was in degree. But
I should just found out about this just now.
she'd be
But
proud though.
She'll be proud. She's like, at least my boy's doing some work somewhere else.
Yeah, because man, even now, I love learning new things. Like architecture is something that you knew that I like cool. I'm making something, keeping your brain busy. Like I love it. Like that's why like when I come to religion, you're Christian, I'm Muslim, but we connect on the same level, like as if we're the same religion.
Yeah.
But that's only because you're inquisitive and I'm inquisitive. I really want to know. I feel like there's so much to learn, but we sit in a headspace saying I know everything. Like you die down. Like I'm not a person who's saying education wise. Like I'm not going to sit in a classroom and going to learn. But I feel like just talking to people about different topics, like you grow. Yeah, and you grow at a pace where I don't think you'll ever grow in a classroom.
That's so true, man. Crazy.
Yeah.
Amazing, man. And so, were there any other educational or learnings you had after SJCC?
Hacks. So I'll tell you this. I think it's one of the most life-changing experience for sure.
Yeah.
Was when I decided to do. I took a gap year.
Yeah.
When I think
After?
2 years. 2 years where.
2 gap years.
Yeah, I took 2 years after.
Okay.
college.
Mm.
The first year was constructing Air 83. The second year was running Air 83.
You finished that construction 1 year?
No, construction. It started when I was in college. Sharik did 1 year, then I did the second year.
Correct.
The funniest part was applied to New Zealand, Panama, and the US for these 3 adventure courses. And at the time, it was called gap year courses. In India, it's unheard of when we didn't know what it meant. But it just seemed nice because it said 3 months of education. And you're getting a diploma. And I'm like, wow.
Did you have a diploma in this?
Yeah, I have a
Oh,
diploma.
wild.
So it says hiking, sea kayaking, and like canoeing. I'm like, oh, wow. Like, this sounds pretty cool. Anyway, packed my bags, reached New Zealand. And now I thought, what did we all think? It's a diploma. So the first thing comes to head, we are going to have a place. I'm going to hike for a day and come back and stay in the city.
Yeah.
But little did I know, as soon as I think I got payback for everything in that trip, because the first thing they said was, submit your phone today and you get it back after 3 months.
Oh.
And I was like, why? If I'm staying in the same place, why not? They're like, you pack your bags today and you're back after 3 months.
Huh?
Yeah, that's what they pack your bags because you're only going to come back after 3 months.
Oh, okay.
So we had to pack our food. We had to pack all our equipment. And we sat in a bus and I was off. 3 months into the wilderness and...
In New Zealand?
In New Zealand. Yeah. And it was funny because what do we think? As Indians, we're not exposed to adventure. What is adventure? Going for a walk. Taking a dog for a walk. High risk adventure. Running down the steps, you are a different level.
Yeah.
So we haven't been exposed. Nobody had a backyard. Who in the Indian culture has a backyard? You don't. A small garden itself, you act like as if it's that Central Park. But that's how we've been brought up. Yeah. Yes, we played sports all very different. Like to the kind of adventure that we talk and people say hiking, canoeing.
Yeah.
And these guys were the most, I'd say, knowledgeable, and the instructors were from all over the world. And the course wasn't easy. We had to learn how to cook. And we had food enough just for I think 10 days for what we packed. So our backpacks were almost a good 40-45 kgs. And because we had our camping equipment, our clothes and our food. So hiking with that much weight every day, if you burn your food, because none of them knew how to burn, we had 10 of us that went. If anyone burns their food, we had to have burnt food because everything was measured.
Did you ever burn food?
Oh, a lot of times.
Really?
I didn't burn any food. Thank God, because I was a little more careful, not to use that much heat. But we had a lot of meals that were burnt and tasted I don't know if I'm going to say the word, but no, it just tasted bad. It was really putting us to the test. And staying in a camping tent for 3 months, food coming down in helicopters, people being evacuated by helicopter because we're so deep into the jungle that we didn't see humans. For 3 months, I think I saw 5 different individuals who we saw on the
Same
go.
day.
No, on the go, while hiking. But imagine...
Yeah, but you had a team, right? It was 10 of you all together.
No, 10 of us. But other than that,
outside the
10. And I remember it was so funny because the first time we saw them was 2 months after. And because there's so much human interaction, generally, and suddenly not having anyone, none of us could speak. We're like, hello. And normally these guys good day, mate. And we're like, hello. And we glitched, all of us glitched.
You didn't talk to each other for 10 days or what?
No, we did. But to see someone new, that's how your brain was. Looking at no electronics. So you don't have any light. All you get is moonlight. So the day the moon is shining, there's a lot of light, on the floor.
The only light you get is the moonlight when the day the moon is shining.
No, I'm saying the only light you get in the night was moonlight. So if it's bright, you get to see things. If it's not bright, you're screwed. Yeah, you have your little torch, but you're not going to, unless you want to take a shit, you're not going to use it. And we would just sit, and it was plain and simple life, where we had, and the best part was we had a diploma, obviously. So we had classes up in the mountains. We had medical training up in the mountain. It was a leadership program, so we had a lot of classes then. So imagine doing 8 hours of hiking, canoeing, sea kayaking, with that adding 1 or 2 hours of education with it. So it was a long day. Plus, I had to cook breakfast, I had to cook dinner. It was quite packed. And I would say in the end of the day, it was an experience which I think it was the best experience of my life to
Yeah?
date. It really changed me as a person.
Really?
Yeah, 100%. I don't.
Mm.
I think that part, the big part of me that I had to let go of,
Yeah.
which was into saying when it comes to shopping, when it comes to like the materialistic things in life,
Mm.
and how we spoke about how do I have the energy to keep our friends together. I feel
Mm.
like when you're put in a
Nice.
position like that, and
Interesting.
you know what how deep relationships are, and how
Yeah.
these things really matter. Like getting a pair of clothes, cool, anyone can go and buy it, but can you get a friend?
Can you hold a friendship?
Can you hold a
Yeah.
friendship? Can you hold a conversation? If there's a conflict, do you do something about it, or you just stop texting them? That's what we do.
Mm.
We ignore them. Or we're like, anyway, I'm not going to see this guy. I have 10 other friends, so it's okay. But they taught us this, like, how every individual in your life makes a very big. They have an impact.
Mm.
So how do you retain that?
Mm.
So that's why you saw, like, you see me, I'm not in that headspace where I don't care. Like half the time when you're like, bro, 5 people. Tony was like, bro, 10 people. I'm like, bro, 50. Like, I want to see everyone, because
Mm.
you realize that how important every conversation to every bond is.
Mm.
So I think Panama, post that at Panama,
Yeah.
again, same thing, stayed in a sustainable town for 3 months.
Mm.
That was a different experience again. But staying away for 6 months, I didn't stay in a university, I didn't stay in a hostel or any of that. I stayed in a camping tent for 6 months.
Mm.
So staying in from a bungalow to a camping tent, and then having like 3 to 5 pieces of article of clothing, and washing them, wearing them. I still have them, like few are torn, I've stitched them, I've put glue on them, and
Mm.
I enjoyed wearing it.
But now half your clothes are torn, no?
Yeah, the t-shirt I was wearing before this also quite bad. I think maybe I'm remembering the time in the
Yeah.
jungle, but you personalize it to yourself. Like
Yeah.
here we get something happened to our clothes, we go buy a new one.
Yeah.
Over there we had to make do with what we had, because you didn't have access.
Mm.
But it makes you realize that the lesser you have, the happier you are.
Mm.
The more you have, the more headache you have. Simple as that. And you
Mm.
don't appreciate what you have anymore.
Mm.
So I feel like the biggest learning for me from there was like simplicity is bliss. Like,
Really?
yeah, and I love it. Like, yeah, I think that was like the biggest of like the most I think I've ever learned in my life in those 6 to 8 months that I was.
And you didn't have an issue, or you didn't have anybody else to like
Nobody.
do anything for you.
Imagine for the first time that nobody carrying my bag.
Couldn't slip $10 anywhere.
Nothing. And since everyone was a bad cook, like most of them were bad cooks,
Yeah.
but later on we all picked it up.
Managed.
But
yeah.
few picked it up before the rest.
Sure,
So sometimes like picking up their slack and doing it, like for me it was new, but
Sure,
like at the end of the day I wanted my team and everyone to have a good time.
Yeah.
So we went in as a group, we came out as a group.
Yeah.
But I would say, yeah, the first time like I had to do everything by myself, and it's not like now I don't do it, but I just feel like I know how to make people who are better than me do it,
Yeah.
rather than me doing it.
Yeah.
But I have to get the task done. So I feel like over there, the everyday tasks weren't easy at all compared to what college is.
Mm.
But yeah, I tell everyone, I would pay someone to do this course and finish it.
Really?
Like, I don't think an average Indian, they told me like,
Oh, you can't survive.
you can't. For an Indian, it's not, because first of all, the parents are not going to send you.
Mm.
The ones that do, we are actually so pampered. We don't see it, from the maid to the driver to everything. You're not going to do it. You're not going to step that far out of your comfort zone. If people do a little bit and they feel a little off, but going that far out, sometimes there's no return. And
Yeah.
that's the fear.
Fair.
That's the fear. Like, even for us, like, it wasn't easy. It's not an easy course. That's why I said I will pay for you to finish it, because I know you're going to like chicken out and come back. Because 1 day, 2 days, yeah, sounds fun.
It's fun, yeah.
90 days
It's a lot.
of getting, like, that's what, everything is new. It's not like there's one familiar thing that you know, from cooking to moving around to doing adventure to studying to the people. There are people in the group you're not going to like, but you have to make do with them.
Sure.
So how do you solve those conflicts? How do you communicate?
Yeah.
So communication was the biggest thing that they taught us in that course.
Crazy, man.
Yeah.
This explains a lot, I think. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like you've told me these stories, like, I think just after coming out, but I was just like listening because you're telling me your experience.
Yeah.
But now hearing it after how many years? 5 years now it's been? 6 years.
6 years.
6 years since you've gone. Like I'm like now it like a lot more of you and your personality and why you do the things you do and the way you do it makes so much more sense.
Yeah.
So this is, if anything, it's been a learning for me also. I think this whole episode.
Yeah.
So that's amazing. And we barely spoke about Area 83, but like,
Yeah.
how did that come about?
Area 83
It's
was
such
like,
a big like fan favorite in Bangalore. People from all over the country come and like want to visit it.
I think Area 83, I think New Zealand really has my heart for a reason, because
Has your heart for?
a reason like that
Okay.
the whole country, like from my course. But
Mhm.
before that I went for a family trip and
To New Zealand.
to New Zealand.
Okay,
And
okay.
what had happened is we ended up for the first time, my brother was like, let's do a bungee.
Mm.
And I wasn't the type, like I think Tariq 10 years ago and Tariq now, there's a very big difference.
Mm.
Because that time I wouldn't do anything risky, like no chance. Now you see me jump out of an aircraft like as if it's like, it's normal, like like a Sunday activity. But I remember that the first place we did a high adrenaline activity, and my brother was the type who was like, come on, let's go, like I'm going to jump backflip. And I was like, wow, what a brother, I want to be like him. But when the time came to jump, both of us, like, we both gassed out, but we
Yeah.
did it. But post that is where
Was
Sharik,
that your first ever like
first ever
adrenaline activity?
high adrenaline. Yeah, because you're jumping over like almost 350 feet
Crazy.
and in between a valley. So
Yeah.
Sharik, post that, I think he had a realization that he didn't want to do anything based out of construction, and he wanted to start this experience or give Indians
Interesting.
this kind of an experience with the safety aspect of it.
Mm.
Because we've seen the amount of accidents that happen because of the negligence, that people are not educated when it came to adventure
Yeah.
in India. They just want to do adventure, but they don't know how to. They don't know
Yeah.
the safety protocols.
Yeah.
So we thought that, okay, fine, we had a farmhouse. All of us went to that
Yeah,
farmhouse
yeah.
quite a bit. And so Sharik sat with that plan, and it wasn't easy for him. Like I still tell everyone, people say, oh yeah, Area 83, like, man, straight Sharik. Because I was like, it wasn't a plan where, oh yeah, I want to make a resort, and we made a resort.
Mm.
He had to make a plan.
Mm.
That plan got rejected for 6 months. My dad was like, no, not happening, not happening, not
Crazy.
happening, not happening. Eventually, he agreed, and he knew that both Sharik and I would be a part of the business. And yeah, we slowly started putting activities from all over the world.
Yeah.
New Zealand obviously was the bungee, but we couldn't put a bungee initially.
Yeah.
So you see that we have the swing, we have Superman, the reverse bungee.
Yeah.
So we thought we'd start off in a smaller scale
Mm.
and then go to the bigger activities. But what we started seeing it, because of India, there are not too many resorts that have team-based activities and these low adventure activity. I would say low adrenaline, rather than
adrenaline.
saying like not
Yeah.
scary, no low adrenaline. And people really started enjoying it.
Mm.
So then we became a fan favorite only because people felt safe
Mm.
while doing all the activities. And the kind of instructors that we have,
Mm.
they've been trained by me, because obviously we travel a lot and we see how people do these activities abroad.
Mm.
And all the guys doing it are either state players, national players, play for some club. So they are physically active to make you run around, make you jump around, make you have fun.
Mm.
Otherwise, when you go to any other resort, it's basically one old dude saying, "Bhaiya, wo leke kar lo," and you like there's no excitement. So they build it up.
Mm.
So I just feel like over the past few years, we've been getting in new activities, and yeah, it's just the fact like how we have our friend group and we want to do something fun. We want to do that on a large scale.
Mm.
So we obviously cater to corporates and a lot of friend groups, families coming in.
Mm.
But that's the vision that we saw. We wanted people to get away from their phones, get out of their house, rather than going to a club, rather going to a bar. Go and spend the day with your family.
Mm.
Spend a day with your friends.
Mm.
And I feel that really caught on. And I feel that's why Area 83 picked up the way it did. And it is where it is.
Yeah.
at the moment.
Like I love how you said that, your brother was inspired by travel, and that's something that you're also known for, at least now amongst the our peers and friends and people that know you. Like, how much has travel helped you shape a business? And for me, I think especially because I've been away now in the US for the past 9 months, everyone's surprised to how I know so much, or how I'm so aware, or how I'm so westernized. I think the one thing that's helped me the most is travel, and I always advocate for it, and we always advocate for it. And I probably would like to do it as much as you do it, but I can't. But like, how much? Like, what were your travel experiences going in? Like, what were your travel inspirations or experiences going into starting an adventure resort after New Zealand? Obviously,
I would say travel 100%. I think that's the biggest reason why Area 83 is where it is.
yeah.
Because whenever we go out, it's not just a trip that, oh yeah, you go to all the, the main spots that people would travel to. We'll go to like all the adventure parks. We end up going to places where people don't really visit. Do adventure activities which that country is doing it. We see how they do it. Why are they doing it? Because so many like activities which we've seen, we tried getting it here, didn't work out. So trial and error is something that we still play around with.
Yeah.
But I feel because we've moved around and we still move around that much, we like to stay ahead of everyone else. And traveling for us is like that's the only time we actually get to relax. Because when you're in the city, you have like almost 50 to 80 calls. Like at least I have 50, 80. Sharik goes up to almost 100 calls a day. Because we're always on our phones. So we don't get time to just relax and think of new ideas.
Yeah.
We always come back with like a business idea. Because we, for the first time, like the three of us in one place, not thinking of the current running businesses. We always think of how to enhance it. You'll see us. It's so funny. Actually see our phones. People never understand what's on our phones. Because you'll see a random pillar. You'll see a random like signboard. Because we are always picking up these small things everywhere to get it back. So whether my dad travels, you'll see our group. Randomly you'll see a tissue box holder. And you're like, what is this? And like, we can use this for the reception. It's like we always have an eye out.
Crazy.
To pick ideas up. To get inspired and get that back here. And I'm saying the same, that things over here will also work abroad. But you just need to find the market in the right and open it in the right places. So I think traveling helps you do that, because you obviously grow a lot when you travel, because you're seeing people from different cultures and why they like it. Why do they do the things that they do? Would the same thing work? Some activities don't work. Even though everyone in that city or country may like it, it just won't work. Like how cricket is in India. Like cricket is the sport. Other sports are there. But the importance cricket is given. Go do it in another country. People don't care. So the psychology is also something that we have to see. I can give high adventure activity. Like I can give the big bungee that people have 200, 300 feet. But people are not allowed to, they're not going to pay for it. Like the same person would end up paying $200-300 abroad. Won't pay more than 2,000 to 4,000 rupees in India. But your life has the same cost. But they won't do that calculation. Because when you go abroad, it's easier to spend. Your spending capabilities in your head are much more than what you do here. So that's why I feel like India is not the fault of the people doing the activities, but it's the consumer
psychology.
Psychology where you're not going to pay that much, but you're still putting your life at the same risk, higher risk, when you're paying lesser. You'd rather pay more and be safer, because you see that the one word that I hear, the most common word in Area 83, oh, I'm going to die. And I was like, before every ride. And I was like, where is your head at? Like, it's like a joke, but in the back of their mind, they're like, shit, what if?
What if, yeah.
Because that's the fear that all of us have been brought up with. Sadly, that is the fear. Have you ever heard a person from Western culture say, I'm going to die before a ride? He won't jump. Here, our people will go on the ride after that. I was like, what are you even thinking? Like, where is your head going at? Because those are the safety standards we've been brought up with. So I just feel like, traveling, your life is the biggest most valuable thing that we have. So how they protect it and how they avoid these accidents is what we learn and we get back over here. So I think traveling is still, you all know how much I love to travel, because I just feel like there's so much to learn when it comes to this industry. But I think that's the reason like we are where we are.
So true, man. I think traveling for you is more of an education. It's more like a schooling than it is anything else. Because like it's difficult to travel with you also sometimes, because you're always looking out for things. Like not in a bad way. I'm saying it's because it's inspiring. Like you're always like keeping an eye out for things. You want to try different things out. You want to do different things. And I'm like, dude, like take a break. And like obviously sometimes I've yelled at you while we're traveling because you're on your phone making some 100 calls. But I have to be understanding that you're also running a business, so it's different. But yeah, I think I'm so glad over the past 2 years we've got to travel internationally, and that's
Oh,
been a
man.
huge change. And for
Yeah.
me, it'll forever be one of like my favorite trips that we've done, like Vietnam and
Yeah.
Dubai. And there are more to come. I'm sure it's gonna happen. We
Yeah,
just have to
for
make it
sure.
happen.
Have to. I
We
like
have
first one step at a
one
time.
step
But
at a
yeah,
time.
just bummed that our
Yeah,
25th trip that we had planned
yeah.
got ruined because of COVID.
Oh
But
man, that would have
yeah,
been a smashing trip.
yeah, but there is, yeah, hopefully there is, because now that you see that everyone is traveling a
Yeah,
little bit more, everyone
yeah,
more
yeah.
independent, it'll be
More
easier to
independence.
do these trips
Yeah, everyone's
than to what
working
we could
hard.
do like 4-5
True,
years
true.
ago.
Well, I love how we took it step by step. You know, we started at going to Banarghatta
Yeah.
to your farm as the first like travel destination.
That's the funniest. People
It's
just call it
scary,
farm.
right? Yeah,
Nobody, when I'm like, I'm
yeah,
going to edit it, what, farm? I was like, yeah, farm.
yeah, farm.
And I still call it farm. And when I
Yeah,
go and say farm, they're like, bro, what is farm? Like
yeah,
area 83, they're like, bro, that's not a farm.
yeah.
Like, but I think for everyone, it's still the farm.
For the OGs at least,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's still the farm.
For
Yeah.
us, it is, yeah. And so I loved how we took it step by step. Like we did Banarghatta, which was like an hour away. Then we did like Masnagodi, and then we did like different trips. And then
Yeah.
like I mean, I'm so glad we're going and doing different things
Further away.
together, further away, and also just new experiences, new cultures, and new
Yeah.
memories that are different from just the comfort of Indian food, Indian people, and all that
100%.
stuff. Like the challenges we had in Vietnam last year were like just language and like
The currency.
food, currency, the millions.
The millions.
Yeah,
the
buying their
families.
family. But
yeah.
yeah, man. I think let's wrap it up. Thank you so much for
Yeah.
agreeing to do this. Thank you for giving
The
me or
house.
the house to shoot these episodes.
Mhm.
Obviously, this couldn't have been possible without you. And so many things in my life that I want to credit to you, and you know it. So just want
Yeah.
everyone to know
Yeah,
as
I'm,
well.
I'm just glad.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
this-
don't know how.
You're happy to help.
Yeah, that's the best. I like,
Yeah.
because to sit behind the camera, how awkward I get.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm the worst.
Yeah.
And people, the
But you've
funniest.
done well. You've done well in the past 1 hour. And I must say that
Yeah, I didn't
you're-
spaz yet.
you didn't spaz yet.
My English also was that thinking, and
It's crazy how much your English can actually do you well if you put a mic
yeah.
and
But half the time, I don't want to put that much of an effort. We
That's
just want to
true.
get over with it. But
yeah.
yeah, I really don't. I like being behind the camera, but
Yeah.
not in front of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You like both, don't lie.
Yeah.
But just to end on a sweet note, I've been doing this with everybody so far. Like, what is your favorite memory? Like, if you were to close your eyes, spend 10 seconds, think of a favorite memory that we've had or of me or something that we've shared together. What would it be? Like, what would you like to share? Because I know how much friendship it means to you. I know how much relationships mean to you. It can be embarrassing. It can be funny. It can be anything that you want.
I feel I can't, obviously it's been 12, 13 years, but the one thing that just flashed as soon as you asked that question, I think it's that one day where Adnan made us do 10 things in one day. And the amount, and in that day,
In
there
Dubai.
was one part in Dubai where we
Yeah.
all decided to go flyboarding.
Oh my god.
And where all of us saw our life flash in front of our eyes. We
Yeah.
could just see each other fly, and I hope you put up those pictures. Just put a few pictures that people see the height we went up
Yeah.
at and how we've fallen. Because
Yeah.
that was the day I thought it was the day. Like, we're done. Someone go get
For someone like you who's done so much adventure, that is pretty scary because I've not done much. I've not done as much as you have.
But
So
that is
you
scariest.
What are you saying?
That guy didn't like me because y'all told him that I don't like him. Like, y'all sent me
I don't
first,
remember that. I
and
didn't say that.
y'all have gone and told him, heal the dude.
Yeah.
He has sent me 20, 30 feet. I'm just kind of used to switch it off. And I just thought the joke was on me, but until you went and then Adnan went. I was like, that day, and it just didn't end there. Like, from going and almost crashing ATVs,
Yeah.
going for the desert safari.
Yeah.
The thing that I remember, the experiences is one thing,
Yeah.
but towards the end, near the buffet, where all of us, the belly dancing started, and everyone thinks, oh, these guys have gone on belly dancing, and we were in the table right in front of the belly dancer, and we're like this.
So
Like, we
funny,
had
dude.
no energy left. We just wanted to die. Okay,
Yeah.
because we didn't go for the buffet. We made one guy get food for all four of us.
Yeah.
And we laughed so much because we're like,
You would think.
how
boys
did we
trip-
do this to ourselves? And this was the first day of our trip.
Yeah.
Like, that was day one. And it took us 3 days to recover after that. So I just feel like the amount of laughs that we've had
Dude,
while
crazy.
traveling.
I'm crying right
Yeah,
now.
that-
So funny.
yeah, I think the pictures will
We'll do justice.
do justice of how much fun we
That
had.
was the first memory that came to your mind. It's so funny.
Yeah, because like the only thing is that one picture of you going like this, like and falling sideways. I know you know which
Yeah,
picture
yeah.
that is. Because soon as you said that
Yeah, it's
flashed
so
in
good.
my
So good, so good.
yeah.
Too good, man. I'm so glad we got to chat about all this and just to hear about your journey. I think I've, like I said, just learned so much. I thought it would just be another. I know all the answers to
Banter.
all your questions, but like I learned so much from this fun episode, just spending this past 1 hour, 15 minutes with you. But yeah, thanks for doing this. Hope you made yourself at home and felt
Oh
comfortable
yeah, a
here.
little bit. I think you feel more at home than me these
I
days.
do,
But
I do,
yeah,
man. Thank you so much. And we're going to do another episode eventually, sometime down the line, maybe next year, once I come back, after I go and come back. But yeah, I think I definitely love to get into another conversation with you about just your beliefs.
yeah.
And that'll be
Deep.
an interesting discussion. And I love to, even though we share similar beliefs, everything is not on the same page, but like I just
Yeah.
love to just like eventually get into it one day. And how we keep that bond going irrespective of like we agree to disagree and we
Yeah.
move forward and we still like love each other and whatnot. So thanks, man. Appreciate it. Love
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, anytime, man.
Yeah.
Love you too.
Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I'll see you guys in another episode of the Front Row with another guest. See you guys soon. Bye.
There's no like nerd question. Otherwise, already I actually kept it like this.
Yeah. I asked about your studies. You should have said something.
I said I copied the whole thing. What do you expect me to be like? Yeah, I told that guy to give me a
Yeah, you
payday.
should have.
I thought it for the education, but like no.